aka Variant Z for Zombie, back with another video. This is my most recent chess match. I just started playing against real opponents on chess.com. So this is a really low elo match. Not the greatest in the world. I tried to start out with the London, but I think I kind of fucked it up. But I'm gonna go ahead and play it, and I'm gonna drop a little bit of commentary as we go. So let's go.
Opening with the queen's pawn controls the center and usually leads to a more positional development of the pieces.
All right, so I think I was doing
E6 prepares for a quick d5 pawn push and allows the dark squared bishop to develop.
I just kind of learned it a couple of
Bishop
days ago.
f4 develops the dark squared bishop to an active square where it controls the center. Their knight comes into play, attacking the center.
Now,
This prepares your bishop for development.
F2, move my pawn to F2 when I see them.
Decent move, but they had a better one.
Just to prevent this shit right here. But since I was playing the...
you develop your piece while also winning a tempo on the knight.
Do this shit right.
Defending their hanging knight.
This guy wasn't really that good either.
You had a better option, but this is not bad.
In these ratings,
they overlooked an opportunity to attack a pawn chain.
Because he was,
you overlooked an opportunity to develop a piece while also winning a tempo on a knight. You allowed the opponent to force the loss of castling rights. You get a chance to capture a knight and win material after the follow-up trades.
I felt like he made a lot of mistakes.
You missed an opportunity to capture a knight and win material after the follow-up trades. Your opponent reinforced the defense of their knight, developing the knight and increasing influence in the center. You missed an opportunity to tactically win a pawn.
I want to run this back.
This is the only good move. This move...
I want to run this back, and I want to let the guy...
Opening with the queen's pawn controls the center and usually...
I want to let the guy narrate.
Opening with the queen's pawn controls the center and usually leads to a more positional development of the pieces.
I'm going to let him narrate, and then I'll go back.
Opening with the queen's pawn controls the center and usually leads to a more positional development of the pieces. E6 prepares for a quick d5 pawn push and allows the dark squared bishop to develop. Bishop f4 develops the dark squared bishop to an active square where it controls the center. Their knight comes into play, attacking the center. This prepares your bishop for development. Decent move, but they had a better one. You develop your piece while also winning a tempo on the knight. Defending their hanging knight. You had a better option, but this is not bad. They overlooked an opportunity to attack a pawn chain. You overlooked an opportunity to develop a piece while also winning a tempo on a knight. You allowed the opponent to force the loss of castling rights. You get a chance to capture a knight and win material after the follow-up trades. You missed an opportunity to capture a knight and win material after the follow-up trades. Your opponent reinforced the defense of their knight, developing the knight and increasing influence in the center. You missed an opportunity to tactically win a pawn. This is the only good move.
All right, this is where shit started getting kind of spicy because it's middle of the board. He actually had a really good pawn structure as I sit back and look at it. He made a mistake by not sacrificing his knight. He was too protective of that knight. I think if he would have sacrificed that knight, he probably would have had a better chance in this match. And I was playing hope chess because I was hoping and praying that this fucking guy, especially when I didn't move that pawn from onto what is it, F3, I think. When I didn't move my F2 pawn up one, when I seen him move out that knight, that was an error. But I guess he doesn't really know what he's doing. But let's continue.
This move, you are threatening to eventually win material. You are now able to pin a knight to the king. You missed an opportunity to pin a knight to the king. You get a chance to pin a knight to the king. You overlooked an opportunity.
He really should have sacrificed his knight right there. He would have forced me to have to, well, he wouldn't have forced me to do shit because I would have just castled on the king side, but Actually, I couldn't even. If he would have put his knight right there, I wouldn't be able to castle. I would have to take his knight, and then that would, put me in a position where I can't castle. So he kind of fucked that up big time.
Opportunity to pin a knight to the king. You permitted the opponent to kick a bishop. They kick your bishop with a pawn, forcing it to move or be captured. This move will cost you a bishop. They captured your vulnerable bishop. You captured back. They found a way to win material. A good choice to move your threatened queen. You are now able to capture a pawn and win material after the follow-up trades. You allowed the opponent to win material by simultaneously capturing and defending. You overlooked your opponent
At this point in the match, I'm outthinking this guy. From like here on out, I just outmaneuvered him. Um, and just like kind of like systematically just obliterated all of his positions.
reinforced the defense of their pawn. Yes, this is the way. Your opponent's move wins your queen. You found a safer square for your queen. You are now able to capture a knight and win material after the follow-up trades. They missed a chance. You overlooked an opportunity to capture a knight and win material after the follow-up trades. This move left their pawn hanging. You captured that free pawn.
Somewhere in here, there was a piece hanging. This guy left that knight sitting in the middle of the board. He was too protective of that shit. He could have blew up my entire position and just fucked my entire scheme up. But oh well. Somewhere in there, I have a hanging piece that I can't defend. I don't see it right here, but I know that shit is in there. I don't know where it's at, but it's in there somewhere. But he missed it.
They unpinned their knight, allowing it to provide protection where it's needed. You overlooked an opportunity to tactically win a rook. They left their knight open for capture, giving you a chance to win material.
Oh, my bad.
You captured a vulnerable knight.
That was a terrible play on his part.
They overlooked an opportunity to unpin a bishop, allowing it to provide defense. You are now able to force the loss of castling rights. You missed a better way to win material through a tactic.
This nigga right here.
They overlooked an opportunity to capture a knight that was threatening to win material.
So stupid.
You can follow this up with a material winning pin.
I swear, yo, like all right, this is one thing that I learned from this match, man. Like anybody that's watching this shit, when you get your knight on that, if you go down that path when you're black and you bring out your knight from whatever fucking square, he ends up on what is that, F6? When you put your knight on that F6 square, if the opponent does not move their pawn, their F pawn up, when you get your knight on E4, sacrifice the knight. Don't hold on to it.
Their king steps away from the check by your queen. That move leaves your rook undefended and free to take. You missed an opportunity to win material by pinning a piece.
He should have took my knight right there, but he didn't.
They've made a mistake and their rook is now lost. They overlooked an opportunity to capture a vulnerable rook. You missed a better way to tactically win a rook? They slipped up a bit here. Not the worst move, but definitely not the best. Nice fork, you'll be winning material. They move their king out of the check from your queen. You missed an opportunity to capture a knight and win.
I think I had him so frazzled. Maybe I don't know. I had him running. I had his king in check at least like, I don't know, so many times already, at least 4 times already. So he might have just been so focused on that shit. I don't know what he was doing.
Material after the follow-up trades. This move captures the knight.
That is a blunder. That is a terrible move. He didn't have to take my knight right there. Once again, I sacrificed that knight on purpose. I should be down 2 knights right now. He probably should be. It says he's +2. I don't fucking know how, but he should be dominating this match because I'm not really that good as white. I play better as black because I practice a lot of like opening systems on black, and I really don't have much of a opening on white. So this guy should be dominating the shit out of me. No, no funny.
That was attacking their king. You captured a free rook. You get a chance to capture a knight and win material after the follow-up trades. Your pawn is no longer hanging and is now defended.
Then that knight died for no good reason. That shit is a fucking tragedy.
You are now able to force eventual checkmate. You're still on the road to checkmate. Their king steps away from the check by your rook. You continue the checkmate attack. They move their king out of the check from your rook. You're continuing down the road to checkmate. A clear recapture. You continue the checkmate attack. They played the strongest move available. Your opponent will have to keep an eye on that passed pawn. This move gives you the opportunity to win their rook. You escape the check from the rook. They did not find the right idea.
At this point, this guy's just. I mean, he probably should have resigned like a long time ago. But it's low elo. So what do you say?
Dodge the check, moving your king out of harm. You get a chance to force eventual checkmate. You're still on the road to checkmate. Their king steps away from the check by your rook. You made a pass.
At this point, I'm just kind of like toying with this guy. I'm just trying to get my pawn to the other side of the board. I could have just walked him down, took his other rook, and just took all his pieces. But I'm just fucking around at this point, trying to see if I can actually get my pawn to the other side of the board.
Pawn. I like their choice. You step your king away from the checking. This move doesn't help their position at all. You escape the check from the rook. They slipped up a bit here. You dodge the check, moving your king. They did not find this move wins a pawn. This move doesn't help their position at all. Not the best move, but not bad either. This is a fair trade. Nice. Definitely the right move. They slipped up a bit here. Not the worst move, but your passed pawn is one step closer to promotion. Your opponent revealed a check on your king. You continue the checkmate attack. Your opponent is losing a rook, but you are already in a winning position anyways. You're still on the road to checkmate, moving their threatened rook to safety. Your move gets closer.
If he knew what he was doing, when my queen and this pawn was lined up, he would have moved his rook all the way up right there and forced me probably to either lose my queen or lose that pawn. One or the other. I mean, he still is going to lose this game anyway because I still got I still had 3 other pawns on the board. But if he wanted to, drag this out a little bit longer, he might have. But I guess he was running out of time too, so that's part of the problem.
Checkmate. They played one of the best moves here. Getting closer to the forced checkmate. They made one of the top moves in this position. You continue the checkmate attack. They stop the check by interposing a piece between your queen and their king. You're still on the road to checkmate. You are now able to checkmate the king. You did it. Nice checkmate.
All right, so that's my most recent match. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like maybe I was rushing a little bit because it's 10 minutes. And I don't know. I feel like I made quite a few mistakes there, but luckily my opponent wasn't that good. So, but it's your boy Variant Z. I will see you guys on Sunday. Gonna be posting an update on my potatoes. No funny. So, see you guys then. If you like this type of content, if you like any type of content that you see on my channel, make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe. I'm on the road to 100 subscribers. All right, it's your boy. I am out.